Hey, hey, hey. Happy Wednesday. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, shockingly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. This is live stream number 952. If this is your first time tuning in, let me point out, super casual around here, just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. And normally we'll take a first look at a game. Every once in a while I'll do a live review, but usually on the show it's a first look. And that is what we're doing tonight, because we are going to unbox and dive on in for a first look at The Last Kingdom board game from Gamelyn Games. That's right. This was their Gen Con release. It is based on the Netflix series, The Last Kingdom. So we are going to be taking a look at this in just a bit. So I do want to mention, if you're tuning in because you want to see the live unboxing of The Last Kingdom, we tackled the tabletop gaming news first around here. So it'll probably be 35, maybe 40 minutes before we get into the unboxing. So if you are watching live, kick back, relax, enjoy yourself. I've got cool news to share with you tonight. I have cool news to share every show, but you don't want to skip past it. But I will say, if you are watching this 30 minutes or more after the show has ended, there are going to be timestamps. So if you're impatient, I just gotta get to that first look, you can. Just use the timestamp to jump ahead. You can skip right past the tabletop gaming news. So keep in mind, depending on what kind of device you are watching the show on, those timestamps might actually be right there in the timeline of the video, so you don't have to go digging around in the show notes for them. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Of course, this is a live stream, so that means there is chat available. It's not on screen. One of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, and you must be a subscriber to the channel for at least 48 hours before you can take part in chat. Yet another way that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, maybe you've got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in, and I will do my best to respond. So first out the gate tonight is Stray Kismet. Testy Trekkie is with us. Flaming Huron, one of our chat moderators, is in the house, as is Kathy Evans and Scott B. Smith. And I wouldn't be shocked if another of our chat moderators, Sarah D., is lurking behind the scenes. And before I jump into the news, do want to mention Scott B. Smith is with us. Scott, I got your email. You were one of the contest winners last night. I guess you were distracted, so you weren't sure exactly what your options were as far as the PDF from Chaosium Inc. So let me repeat once again, don't be distracted, right? I'm going to tell you. So you have a choice of basic role playing, or the Pendragon starter set, or Rivers of London. Any one of those three in PDF, just shoot me an email and I will get that out to you ASAP. I'll shoot you a link for you to be able to download that. All righty. And once again, as I mentioned, super casual around here. I think some people expect this show to be like super serious or something like that. It's not. We are not engaged in rocket surgery or anything like that. So keep that in mind. All righty then. So Tessie Trekkie says, note to self, don't feed the owl ears again. I didn't know you had an owl that you were feeding ears to. Zoinks! All right, so let's jump on into the news, because next month is going to see the release of the science fiction board game, The Artemis Odyssey, from Grand Gamers Guild. Here's what I know. The Artemis Odyssey begins many generations after the events of the Artemis Project. Using the alien relics found deep in the oceans of the frozen moon Europa as a technological springboard, humankind has become quickly capable of reaching out to the distant stars and to the mysterious orbiting planets. Build powerful starships to cross the vast emptiness of interstellar space. Land on uninhabited planets to find valuable resources. Establish your presence with colonies, factories, mighty terraformers. And with luck, you may even unearth more alien tech. Your exploration is accomplished through a clever system of hidden planning on a shared board. When the planning board is full, it's resolved in sequence, with all players benefiting from each other's plans. By anticipating what your opponents want to do next, where they want to go, and how they want to score, you'll be able to squeeze the most out of your efforts and ensure that your faction builds the greatest star-spanning network of them all. Get ready to blaze a trail deep into the frontiers of the galaxy. The Artemis Odyssey begins now. The Artemis Odyssey is for 1 to 5 players, ages 13 and up, plays in around 60 to 90 minutes, and the deluxe edition is going to carry an MSRP of $69.99 when it arrives on September 6th. Now, I know the Artemis Project was very well received, and I have to mention that I thought it was very interesting that the deluxe edition of the Artemis Odyssey actually comes with, you're seeing it right now, a custom insert. So I thought that was kind of cool. Sarah D says she is present and lurking. And Tessie Trekkie's talking about owl bears. Don't feed ears to the owl bear. Mr. Marmello is with us sharing a super chat. So welcome aboard. On to the next news piece. 1985 Games is in the midst of a $1 million plus Kickstarter for a 5e Dungeons & Dragons supplement, Obojima, Tales from the Tall Grass. Here's the latest. A world built for exploration and adventure. Lose yourself alongside your players as you travel the breathtaking island of Obojima, a curious place with a mysterious past. Obojima is a prime location for many adventurers' stories. In Obojima, Tales from the Tall Grass, you'll find pages and pages of rich lore, detailed maps, pre-generated characters, strange factions, unique locations, and more. All of which is accomplished by breathtaking art to pull you deeper into the world. Foul magic has begun to spread across Obojima's eastern coastline. The sea has turned black. The waters have begun to poison the sea life and corrupt the land. Rumors have spread amongst the spirits, but few claim to understand what's taking place on this strange island. What we can say for sure is this corruption has bestowed unlikely creatures with dangerous abilities. It has even affected some adventurers. Will you explore the coast and delve below the water's surface to uncover the cause of this dark affliction? Play as an eclectic College of Masks bard and craft versatile theater masks to help you in any situation. Breathe life into paper constructs and control the battlefield as an origami mage. Harness the potent magic that has slowly begun to infect Obajima as the corrupted ranger. Fully immerse yourself and your players in the world by using any of the new subclasses, spells, backgrounds, feats, weapon types, or player races. The numerous options will have you struggling to decide what to play. Create unforgettable encounters using any of the over 60 new monsters only found on the island of Obajima. See if your players can catch the elusive and playful sheep dragon on one of the island's rolling hillsides, or stay hidden as the dangerous and cruel Uragama haunts the roads between villages. Reveal these creatures' strange quirks or powerful abilities and watch as your players scream and shout in delight or shock. There is a short Kickstarter video. It is going to share with you a bunch more of the artwork. So let's take a peek. Where did it go? Where's the video? For crying out loud. All right, hold on. For some reason, this video's not set up here, so.
A bright streak flashes across the sky over ancient Greece, turning night into day as a mysterious object crashes into Mount Olympus. Explorers discover pools of
Obajima Tales from the Tall Grass has passed the $1.2 million funding mark. You can reserve a copy of this 5e supplement in hardcover for a $60 pledge, or score just the PDF for a $30 pledge through August 31st. Expected delivery is September of next year. So Tessie Trekkie says, I love the aesthetic and feeling they're going for, but I absolutely can't see it working with 5e. Even though Miyazaki movies are their not so guilty pleasure. And Stray Kismet says, okay, yeah, want this. Don't skip the news, kids. Roger Perdome is with us in chat. Good to see Roger. So I got to say, they've got a pretty cool Studio Ghibli sort of aesthetic going on here with a lot of the character designs and things like that. Now, I'm kind of curious because, to my knowledge, 1985 Games is probably best known for their paper terrain. So they do like dungeon tiles sort of paper terrain. And I think this is the first time that they've actually released a gaming supplement. I know they've done some dice. I think they've got dice that come in like VHS boxes now. They're supposed to be kind of like, I guess, like 80s style dice or something. So I'm kind of curious. Now, I will mention that they aren't looking to fulfill this until next year, so September of next year. So that bodes well. I'm just kind of curious. I'm not like saying, oh, I don't know if you should back this. I'm just kind of curious if maybe this Kickstarter has gotten too big. Just kind of curious. I mean, it's over $1 million. I mean, come on. But this looks pretty cool. Now, I will mention, because Tessie Trekkie's pointing out they can't see this working with 5e, I sort of have the feeling that this is more, it's just using 5e mechanics, that it's really not utilizing anything else. A lot of times there are some of these supplements that come out that say they're, for 5e, and all they really are is just using 5e mechanics. That's it. So I think a lot of times they're kind of saying 5e almost like, hey, D&D players and GMs, pick this up. So, but this looks impressive, I must say. On to the next news piece. Northwind Adventures has teamed with Bundle of Holding to provide a great offer on the 3rd edition of Hyperborea, the old school Renaissance fantasy role-playing game. I've got the deets on the deal. Adventurer. This new Hyperborea 3E bundle presents the 2022 3rd edition of Hyperborea, otherwise known as the Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea? I sometimes get the sorcerers and swordsmen mixed up. Regardless, Hyperborea, the isolated land beyond the North Wind, is a flat hexagonal realm hemmed in by the mystical Boreas. In the unchanging scarlet radiance of a bloated dying sun, roiling seas spill eternal over the world's rim. In this land of perpetual decay, heroic cataphracts, pyromancers, runegravers, purloiners, legerdemonists, and sublunary Nafyiks. Yes, mispronouncing all these fictional things. Delve dungeons and ruins, explore frontiers, and plunder gold and treasure. This new offer presents the 2-volume Hyperborea 3rd edition rulebook, atlas, and introductory adventure from the successful July 2021 Hyperborea 3rd edition Kickstarter. 3rd edition reworks character abilities, makes spells easier to acquire, streamlines combat, and adds many races, monsters, magic items, and languages. The layout and artwork are new, and the text has been completely re-edited for clarity. And all older 2nd edition AS and SH material remains compatible with 3rd edition. For just $12.95, you'll get all 5 titles in this Hyperborean collection, which has a retail value of $49 as DRM-free PDFs, including the complete 333-page Hyperborea Player's Manual, and 317-page Referee's Manual, plus the free 3rd edition character record, the beautiful color atlas of Hyperborea, the introductory 3rd edition adventure, The Late Trapper's Lament, and pulled in from the March 2021 Hyperborea 2nd edition bundle, The Referee's Screen. Which I'm kind of curious, is that screen still going to work with 3rd edition? I don't know, because I actually hadn't ever seen the 2nd edition. Got to point out that these savings will run through August 28th, and 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to the Millstone Wildlife Center. Sweet, very cool. And I got to say, Hyperborea is cool. It's you may recall, I shared coverage of the player handbook and the referee's handbook, or referee's manual, however they refer to them. And very, very interesting. I like the sword and sorcery vibe that's going on. It's got a little Masters of the Universe kind of science fantasy aspect to it as well. I will say it is really, really well designed to create the sort of character that you want to play, because there are all these like subclasses of each class. So you got a lot of different options. The only thing that I recall I'm not such a fan about this is that it uses combat matrices. So each character class has a combat matrix, as opposed to just being, you know, roll high, beat the armor class kind of thing. So that was that one drawback, I thought, with this system. But all in all, pretty sweet deal on a pretty interesting and well-received old school Renaissance fantasy role-playing game. Nero's Fiddle is joined us. Good to see you. They say, I've heard good things about this game, but I was born a Conan 2D20 man, and I'll die a Conan 2D20 man. Yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to see any new content for that. I don't even know who's picking up the Conan license for role-playing games. I do not have a clue. Don't have a clue whatsoever. All right, my final news piece, now available from Onyx Path Publishing, is Exalted Crucible of Legend. Here's the scoop. The Exalted stand astride creation, ready to remake the world in their own image. From the mightiest Solar to the lowliest Exigent, they are heroes, one and all. Yet creation is vast, and the stories it can hold innumerable. Herein are the tools of the forge where heroes are made, the grand crucible in which the story of the Exalted can be told. Crucible of Legend presents storytellers and groups playing Exalted with tools to help them tell the stories of their characters in creation and beyond. From character generation aids to alternate crafting systems, from details on the secret agendas of the Exalted and the factions ruling creation, storytellers will find a wealth of tips and tricks within this book. The conflicts of the time of tumult are the myths of the age to come. What legends will they tell of your deeds? Right now, you can score this 161-page PDF over at Drive-Thru RPG for $16.99. And it seems like the folks over at Onyx Path Publishing are pretty focused on Exalted right now. I know they've got, it was pretty recent, it came out, I want to say it's called Exalted Essence, which kind of streamlines Exalted for a less rules-heavy approach. It's not as crunchier. It's not as crunchy, I guess. So, Nero's Fiddle says Monolith has the Conan license for RPGs because they did the board game. Yep, I remember that. I haven't seen it, but I do recall that. Kind of interesting. Just like Marvel Comics no longer has the license to do Conan comic books. That's actually over at Titan Entertainment over across the pond. So I thought that was kind of unusual. Tessie Trekkie says, alternate crafting, good. The Exalted 3 crafting system is terrible. Too many meta currencies to spend. Like I said, that Exalted Essence kind of streamlines a lot of stuff as far as I understand. All right, that is it for the news tonight. Of course, I was just talking about Drive-Thru RPG. Don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit Drive-Thru RPG or Dungeon Masters Guild, Storytellers Vault, what have you, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. All those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Should also mention for the next, I believe it's 2 weeks, there is the Cosmic Horror Sale going on over at Drive-Thru RPG, and it is 25% off a lot of RPGs with the Cosmic Horror theme. So I don't know. I didn't take a peek to see if Call of Cthulhu is on sale. You would think the granddaddy of Cosmic Horror would probably be part of the sale, but I don't know. Game Master's Hobby is with us. Howdy. Thanks for popping on in. Game Master's Hobby's a little early. They're usually kind of stopping by like at the end of the show. All righty. That's it for the news tonight. Should also remind you that if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. But if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, you can always swing on over to paypal.me/thegaminggang to make a small donation. You can buy me a 2-liter soda if you would like. And thankfully, there are quite a lot of you out there who use those banner ads to the One Bookshelf sites and or visit paypal.me/thegaminggang. So thank you kindly, everybody. Let me grab a quick sip here. Did I say hello to Kevin R. Smith? I don't think I did. Hello, Kevin. I think I missed you popping in. Or I did say hello and I just don't remember. No, I don't think I said hello to Kevin. All right. So, kind of zip through the news tonight. So, if you were watching last night, you know I was talking about there's a company I'm no longer going to talk about. And it's kind of interesting, but on one hand, you know, like a company disrespects me and it's like, yeah, that's it, you're done. Kevin says, yes, they slipped in right after I said hello to a lot of other people. I didn't think I said hello to Kevin. I do my best to say hello to everybody who pops into chat. It's just, in my opinion, it's the least I can do. You're taking time out to watch this stream. So, Tessie Trekkie says, I'm not a Republican serial villain, Jeff. I did it at the start of the stream. So anyway, I'm not going to rehash that. But you also have like the flip side of the coin where you get companies that are like, wow, they didn't need to do that. So I got an email and it was forwarding on the Pinnacle Entertainment Group newsletter. And lo and behold, in the newsletter, it mention my interview with Jody Black, the Pinnacle Entertainment Group, and Carolina Game Tables, and it was very complimentary. And then it was like, oh, you got to go check out the gaminggang.com. And I was like, wow, hey. I was like, sweet. I was like, thank you very much. Jody Black didn't have to do that. The folks over at Pinnacle Entertainment Group didn't have to do that. I thought that was very, very nice of them. So one company treats me like I'm an asshole, and the other company comes along and they're very nice. As some weird flying bug goes zipping on past. You may actually seen a little blob on the screen there as it flew past the lens. So Mr. Marmello is hyping Conan. I'm a Conan fan. I got to say, I thought the 2D20 role-playing game was really, really well done. Yeah, okay, maybe the system isn't exactly, what I would prefer, but man, they just the work that they put into that over at Modifius Entertainment, really top-notch stuff. So I thought, pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. All right, so we are going to be diving on in to take a look at the Last Kingdom board game in just a couple of moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
Golden, pure creamery butter, rich, flavorful, satisfying. That's what it takes for the finest buttered popcorn, and that's what we use. See for yourself why there's no Showtime treat to equal the crisp, delicious flavor of hot popcorn that's bathed in real melted butter. It's at the concession stand now.
Why do people like you like Big D best? Because Drury's beer means more fun in a glass. Yes, more fun in a glass. Drury's brews flavor in, sweetness out, so you can enjoy glass after glass with no full feeling after. That means more fun. Yes, more and more people like you like Big D best. Drury's beer, a perfect balance between flavor and lightness. Drury's beer, more flavor, less filling, more fun. That's why people like you like Big D best. How about joining them right now?
Wilkins decaffeinated coffee is best at any price.
Oh, you just say that because...
Because what?
Because it's true.
How did they get in these crazy positions? Playing Funny Bones, the game for people who love to laugh. Okay, back where you started.
The shin bone connected to the knee bone. The ear bone connected to the shoulder bone. The hip bone connected to the hand bone. The head bone connected to the head bone.
When you pick up a Funny Bone card, well, you'll just have to get Funny Bones, the game for people who love to laugh, by the makers of Monopoly. Funny Bones is a Parker game.
Wow, that looked like an awful game. Funny Bones. Ooh. As Kevin R. Smith says, Twister with cards. And yes, there's discussion about loving the Big D. Drury beer, of course. What else could it possibly be? Or, I guess, yes, as Sarah has pointed out, Dallas. Nothing else comes to mind. So tonight, we are going to jump on in and take a first look at the Last Kingdom board game from Gamelyn Games. It's designed by John D. Clair, with artwork provided by Chad Hoverter. The game is for 2 to 5 players, ages 14 and up, plays in about 30 minutes per player, and it does carry an MSRP of $69.99. And we are going to swing on over to the other camera because here I've got The Last Kingdom. So do want to point out that the fine folks over at Gamelyn Games, otherwise known as Michael Coe, was kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. These days, it's important that you know that. All right, let me get the shrink wrap off here, and then we'll take a look at the back. So this was the big Gen Con release for Gamelyn Games. They also had Tiny Epic Vikings with the Ragnarok expansion. I will be sharing a first look at that very soon also. The Kingdom of Britain, I should say, the Kingdoms of Britain are at war. Many have already fallen to the invading Danes, leaving the great kingdom of Wessex standing alone and defiant under the command of King Alfred. You are one of the great commanders and politicians in this war-torn land known today as England. Both Saxon and Dane armies openly battle for dominance, and it is up to you to tilt the scales of power. To claim these lands, you will need to tread a dangerous path between both sides of the conflict. Will you betray your allies for power? What part will you play in the birth of a new nation? And will you ultimately rule it all? And it includes 18 miniatures. Flaming Heron says, I'm really looking forward to this. Hopefully it's good. We're going to find out. Word on the street is it's pretty good. It's John D. Clair. So I know John D. Clair for a while was like just publishing games through AEG, and he's kind of branched out more. So we got a rule book here. That's what we're going to take a look at first. So it is Britain 872 to 898 AD. I will mention that, gotta be honest, I think I watched like 1 or 2 episodes of The Last Kingdom, and that was about it. It was one of those shows that I don't know if it was because around the same time I had been watching Vikings, and it was just, okay, a little too much. A little too much of this ancient Britain and stuff like that. So Flaming Heron says, just when games have links to TV shows, I'm taking a guess that makes Flaming Heron worry because it's licensed. I got to say, I think over the past 5 years or so, we have seen more licensed games that were good as opposed to ones that were just like a money grab. So we've got our game board in the center of the table. We've got action plaques. You get a leader mat. So depending on how many players are playing, it's going to determine who the leaders are. So this is our setup here. So it looks like probably need a good amount of space. So we've got our leader mats with the leader's name, an image of their miniature so that you know which one to grab, what their starting region is and their initiative, starting allegiance, move your leader action, special leader ability, permanent effect, of the figure, which I'm going to take a guess. It's a permanent effect in the region that they're in. Your starting action tokens and your starting affinity. So the game takes place over 2 rounds, and there are different cards used in each round based on their card backs. These cards are drafted at the start of the round, and like leader cards, can be played as actions. There are several types of round cards. Primary actions, hero with a permanent effect, secondary with instant action, and secondary with passive action. We have action plaques above a market action track. So we have allegiance. So are you allied to the Danes or the Saxons? Affinity. Each player has affinity for the 4 different factions. They each are marked by one of the player's 4 affinity markers on the affinity track, which I think is probably this area right here on the board. Yep, actually it is. You get victory points for affinity. So we've got conflict. So we have a conflict region track. So I have miniatures of leaders and heroes. So in each of the rounds, looks like we have really the same phases taking place. So phase 1 is draft, and you pass your cards to the left. Conflict, and then cleanup. So it's talking about drafting. The region with the conflict token is where the war is happening. The Danes and Saxons fight for control there, and it's the player's actions that can tip the scales of power. Each player has an allegiance, noted by which side their allegiance marker and ring are flipped to. This shows whether the player is aligned with the Danes or the Saxons. So I would take a stab that you might be able to change allegiance. The current strength of both factions are total on the conflict region track at the bottom of the board. Once all players consecutively pass and taking turns, the current conflict is then resolved and a peace token is placed onto the region, flipped to the side, noting that the Danes or the Saxon had won the conflict. By the end of the round, all 5 peace tokens will have been placed, 1 in each region. So if you're aligned with the winning side, you'll gain victory points based on how much affinity they have for that individual faction's units. So we also have conflict region and succession region. Taking your turn, primary actions. So we have market actions, playing a card, moving your leader, passing your turn, prepare for invasion. So more about the conflict phase here. Disbanding excess armies. Then we've got cleanup. And final scoring. Player with the most victory points is crowned the ruler of Britain. In the case of a tie, based on the peace tokens from the end of round 2, the player aligned to the faction with the most tokens wins. If the tied players are aligned to the same faction, then add their total affinity levels, and the player with the most wins. If players are still tied, then the leader with the highest initiative number wins. Cool. So, Mr. Marmello says, please try a British accent. No. Not going to be doing that. Then we get a gameplay example. So altogether, we've got 13 pages of rules, and then we get a quick reference guide on the back. And we also have 5 shields, where you're going to be planning your moves behind these. Decent card stock. and it is treated. That's why you'll see there's a bit of glare coming off of it. So these should hold up okay. So we've got that. We've got some punch boards. Looks like we've got 3 of them. So it looks like we've got the different characters. I think these are the market actions. So we've got England is born. To see is to be wise. No mercy. Destiny is all. Make the right choice. I am Dane. I shall take what is mine. And then it's telling us what these actions do down here. And these are dual-sided. Here's our peace token. Oh, should have 5 of them. Yeah, we do. Okay, cool. Next, we've got the board. Looks pretty decent size. Oh, it's not too big. Although you are laying out some different stuff. So here we've got the market action track. This is where we're going to put those, the various different market actions. Like this, I guess. Going to put them like that, right? This is our affinity tracker here. These are the different regions. Here we've got our round cards. And then here it looks like we would have, looks like different faction cards. Because we have the 4 different factions, right? Danes, and then the rest are Saxons. So we have Northumbria, Wales, Mercia, and East Anglia, as well as Wessex. So there are 5 regions. So that is the board, single-sided. Decent card stock, should hold up pretty well. All right, then we've got our decks of cards and we've got our miniatures. So I'm going to zoom in so we can get a look at these. So we've got deck of cards there. Oh, look at this. Card sleeves. That's cool. Nice. Then we've got our leader cards. Then we have these are markers here. I wonder if these are your armies. So it kind of look like they might be our armies there for each of the factions. We have the Last Kingdom draw bag. Very nice. Okay, so let's start looking at these minis. So first thing I'm going to point out, they are not soft plastic. Very, very nice. So you can paint these up. All you got to do is just prime them. So there we've got a Danish ship, Viking ship. All right, come on. Wow, this is in here. It's like don't want to start. I don't want to be breaking these. Okay, so you know what? For some reason, the autofocus, I was playing around with it earlier, and it seemed to be, yeah, see how it's hunting? All right, come on. It's like, I don't know what's going on with this lens. Hello? It's like, hello? Yeah, it's just having a really difficult time. So what I'm going to do, let's see if I can get this. Yeah, see? It's like, what the hell's going on? All right. Try pulling a manual focus. I'm going to do this. Because I want to give you a far better look at these minis. Let's see, that's not even doing anything. And some of these lenses are like super pain in the ass. And of course there's a delay, so I'm actually looking at my screen as I'm doing this. You know what? It was worth a shot, but it's just not going to work. So yeah, see, strangely enough, it worked there. I don't know. Flaming Earth says auto not focused. Well, it's a Panasonic. These Panasonics are not, that is, and this is actually the kit lens on it, which I try not to use too often, but it's the only one I've got that's actually got a zoom on it. It's a manual zoom, but still. All right, so that's that one there. Hopefully you're getting some of the detail here. But these look like these would paint up really nice. I mean, they're as good as, the detail is as good as you would find from miniatures games. So Flaming Heron says still pretty clear and detailed. Says thanks for the effort. Well, I'm trying. See if it, I am attempting to do more coverage of miniatures, but if that's the case, if I'm able to do some miniature stuff, then I will have my camera far closer to the miniatures. So I think that might be King Alfred. That's pretty cool. I think this is the main character, or one of the lead characters there. But yeah, the detail on the shield, really nice. I am impressed. What is not so great is the insert. These miniatures are not easy to get out of the insert. All right. Well, this is cool. That's pretty wild. I think that's supposed to be a rune or something. And then what is this, a fortress? It is, it's a fort, yeah. That's kind of cool. So it's a walled fort. Yeah, I have no idea who these characters are. Oh, here we go. It's like we've got our first female character. She's obviously a Dane. So I have to ask, anybody out there in chat watch The Last Kingdom, I think it wrapped up, didn't it? Didn't it run like 5 seasons, something like that? So I really like the fact that this is not the soft plastic, which is a pain in the ass to try to paint because you have to cure the plastic to make it stiffer. So I love the fact that these miniatures have been designed for people to paint, not as an afterthought, which I am shocked at how many companies make games that just have a lot of figures and they're soft plastic. And it's like, really? I would like to paint these without having to jump through a bunch of hoops. Very well done. And I guess I should float this out there. These appear to be 32 millimeter. So these would work really well in like miniatures games. Or, you know, role-playing games, stuff like that. All right, so we've got 5 minis left. He's got his axe. Very, very impressive. So you figure you're looking at 18, so 15 of these miniatures are actually figures. And this is effectively a $70 game. It's $69.99. You're getting some pretty sweet minis. So, all right, come on. That one was stuck. Now this looks like somebody else who's wearing a crown. And our final figure. Sword's bent a little. So this plastic is a little softer on this one, but not terribly soft. So there you go. All right. So let's take a look at these leader cards. And with our card sleeves, we've got sleeves for our leader cards, and we also have sleeves for the regular cards too. So here are our leaders. So I thought this is like the main character on the show. Uthred. Then we got King Alfred. I am not even going to attempt to pronounce these names. Ethelwald. Yeah, and then I did. I just said I'm not going to try to pronounce these, and I did. Oda the Elder. Aelswith. Breda. Guthrum. So these are Danes. Ragnar the Younger. And we have Siegfried and Eric, which you actually have the 2 figures, the 2 minis of. So that is them, the leaders there. Put these back in. I don't think we actually need to look at the card sleeves. They're just plain. So let's take a peek at the cards. So these are our second round cards, first round cards. And I think these might be our special abilities for the leaders. We're not going to look at all the cards, but so we've got Tactical Strike, Unite the Kingdoms, Hesitant Invasion, Traveler, Summon. So those are the hero abilities. And so it looks like some of the cards allow you to recruit the heroes. So this is primary action hero, places figure into any region. Counts as 1 Saxon or 1 Dane for your scoring only. After Uthred moves, he may move 1 additional region. So yeah, these might be... Yeah, but I thought we had... Yeah, I was going to say, I think weren't there like 20 hero cards? And there are only 5 different leaders, like actual hero cards that you start off with for the factions. So I think these cards actually are used to recruit. So we got Strategic Alliance, Siege of Winkelcombe, and then it tells you what you're doing here. So some of these are showing like adding armies, moving armies, forced march, long march. So move 2 armies up to 2 regions away. Friendships. Gain a Dane affinity. Another friendship. Brutal tactics. So that's round 1 cards, and then we'll take a look at some of the round 2. So once again, these look like this is when you're going to recruit these. So King Alfred didn't have anything going on until round 2. I don't know. We'll find out. But it's kind of cool. They show the miniatures on these cards too. Just like we saw them on the hero cards, they're also on these cards. So you have change of focus, false message, Battle of Beamfleet. I almost said Breamfleet. Losses of war. A crushing blow. Jack Hanks is with us. Good to see you, Jack. Valhalla. All right, nice. So we've got the various decks of cards. Put these back into here. We have these figures, which, gotta be honest, I'm not sure what they represent. They might be the armies, that's a possibility. We've got our draw bag. We've got, might as well put the game board back in, as well as the 3 punch boards, the 5 shields to hide what you're doing, and then the rule book, and that's what we find in the Last Kingdom board game, designed by John D. Clair from Gamelyn Games. And of course, I will have a review of the Last Kingdom board game in the very near future. Once again, the game is for 2 to 5 players, ages 14 and up, plays in 30 minutes or so per player, and it carries an MSRP of $69.99. It is available right now. Sweet. Yes. Big thanks to Michael Coe over at Gamelyn Games for providing me with this review copy. Alrighty, that is it for tonight's show. Tomorrow, we are going to unbox and dive on into Rolkmork from AAW Games. I am looking forward to this. This is pretty hefty. I know it's a hardcover book inside. Okay, I shouldn't say I know it. I'm pretty sure it's a hardcover book inside. And if you missed my interview with AAW Games over at Gen Con, check it out because we talk about Rolkmork. Then on Tuesday's show, we're going to take a look at Die RPG from Rowan, Rook, and Descartes. For a second, I zoned on Rowan. So it's Rowan, Rook, and Descartes. And of course, I talked to the creator of the comic book and the role-playing game, Kieran Gillen, at Gen Con. So that's a pretty cool interview. Then a week from tonight, it'll be another War Game Wednesday as we take a peek at Under the Southern Cross. This is volume 2 in the Flying Colors Naval War Games series from GMT Games. And then a week from tomorrow, we'll be diving on into Winds of Magic for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay from Cubicle 7 Entertainment. So we got plenty on the horizon. Do want to mention, stay tuned because I will have my review of Dragonbane very, very shortly. So stay tuned for that. All right, that's it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Central right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my recent review of Dungeons & Dragons, Bigby Presents Glory of the Giants from Wizards of the Coast. If you were watching live, thank you very much. If you watched live and took part in chat, a big tip of the cap, because not only are you keeping me company and making sure I don't feel like a total doofus just talking into a camera, into the ether, without anyone responding, you also get to keep each other company as well while I'm diving on into paging through RPG books or unboxing board games and so forth. Of course, I know a lot of you out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you watch live or on Memorex. I really do appreciate each and every one of you taking time out to watch any of the videos here on the channel. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and until I see you next time, here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.